20K worth of airdrops just from like the Uniswap airdrop.
On
'Cause I used
accident. On accident.
Yeah, it's on actually. If I knew about it before, I probably would have sold that. But
What's going on, guys, and welcome back to ngmi, the Web3 show, aka the future #1 podcast in the world. I am joined, as always, by my beautiful, sexy, D-God shill co-host, K-Money. Kevin, what's going on, dude? How are you?
Dude, I'm doing pretty good. I lost a bunch of ETH yesterday just trying to chase the pumps of some NFT projects, but I'm doing good.
I wonder what those projects were. I wonder if those were presidential derivatives.
Yes, they were. I bought a bunch of the Biden ones after I saw the Trump ones going to the moon, and I was up like 3x, but then they got delisted from OpenSea, and then everyone was panic selling on Blur within 30 seconds. So I went up 300% to down 70.
No politics on the show. No politics on the show. We are joined also today by one of the most mysterious men in Web3. He's hiding today, but we're still happy to have him on the show. This is the founder of quite possibly the most anticipated NFT project of the year. Somebody that we have plenty of questions for. We are joined by none other than Crypto Valley CV. Dude, how are you?
I'm doing amazing, man. Thank you for having me on, Champ and K Money. Like, you guys watch that World Cup game?
Oh yeah, dude, I loved it. I didn't watch it.
Kevin's lying.
Yeah,
I just watched the World Cup game. If you're watching this right now, I am, and CV, excluding Kevin, he was asleep probably, fresh off the euphoria of Lionel Messi winning his first World Cup, baby. Great day for the Argentinians. Absolute pandemonium in Qatar. CV, you watched the game, huh? Give me your thoughts on the World Cup outcome. Are you a Messi guy?
I mean, to be honest, like I wasn't even a big soccer fan, even like coming into the World Cup. But then I had to tune in for that final game, and like there was just so much drama and suspense and then like see all the degens betting, like making crazy ass bets during the game, especially like when Argentina went up 2-0 and then like France clawing it back. It's just an incredible game.
I put money on Argentina in like the 89th minute, whenever they were tied again, and Messi didn't let me down, so I'm having a good day. CV, I also want to ask you, do you remember meeting me in Miami?
Yeah, we met briefly. I don't think we had like a long conversation or anything, but it was at the trivia event, right?
Yeah, it was. I try not to talk to you for so long because I know that you were busy being asked for Ether whitelist by everyone else there.
Sorry about that, by
the way. But yeah, man. Listen, dude, it's good to have you on the show. And I want to just get right into it, dude. You are, like I said, the founder of an extremely sought after project, and we can talk some more about Ether in a little bit. But I want to know a little bit more about CV as a person. I want to know your background. Tell me how you got into this space. When did you get into Web3, and what was sort of the reason for that?
Yeah, so I first dipped my toes into crypto back in 2017. I just saw like I grew up in the Bay Area, so I like a lot of my friends are in tech. So like they introduced me into the crypto space. I was able to dabble a little bit into it, but I didn't have that much money. So I just like put money in there in 2017 and forgot about it. And then got back into it back in 2021. And then I realized like there were wallets that I had that got a bunch of airdrops, like the Uniswap airdrop. And I was like, yo, this shit's crazy. And like, I think like I ended up getting maybe like 20K worth of airdrops just from like the Uniswap airdrop.
On accident.
Yeah, it's on accident. If I knew about it before, I probably would have sold that. But and then like I found out about like I saw on Twitter people were making crazy money flipping NFTs. So I got into that, or dipped my toes into that back in March, and like it
March of
was
this year. You're talking about March of this year. You got
no,
into
no,
it.
March of 2021. It was like right before Bored Apes came out.
Oh, okay, okay. So you're kind
Um,
of an OG.
yeah, and then so, but like my trading journey was it's not always like rainbows and butterflies there. Like I remember when Bored Ape first came out, there was a project that I went all in on. It's called Name Tags. It's supposed to be the biggest thing ever, and it's like
I think I have one.
you do.
I think so.
Dude, I hate the fact that you're like built different. Like I'm like you're like, oh, yeah, I got into crypto, but then I just forgot about it. It's like, dude, like I don't even forget about like the bag of chips that like my DoorDash forgot to like include in my order like a year ago. Like I don't forget about like any dude, like that just I'm happy for you. But people like
But
you
also a
yeah,
hater.
people like you fucking piss me off so much, bro. Like dude, like I wish I could forget about anything. Like I literally like I'll buy an NFT or like a fucking shit coin and I'm just staring at the chart until I sell. And then guess what? I'm still staring at the chart because I love to hurt myself. So it's like man, so that's interesting though. You got into NFTs like March of 2021 because like during that time I was just like all in on like meme coins. Like, did you just completely ignore like the like? Were you into like the shit coin and the meme coin stuff, or like were you only
Yeah.
focused on NFTs?
So I mean, before NFTs, it was on the BNB hype. It was also the time where like SafeMoon was popping off. I'm buying shit like Ass and Cum
Dude,
Rocket.
let's go.
So, I mean, that just kind of like showed me how crazy like the crypto casino was, and like how much liquidity there is in like a bull market, and it was insane.
It was a crazy time because like literally anything was just going up. Like the craziest shit. Like I remember like at its like peak of like meme coin season then, it was literally to the point where I was like I would get like Discord calls or something about like, oh, like this new token they're making like the next Pokemon, and then like you'll just go and it's just like a landing page. Like that's it, just a landing page in a Telegram group, and then they're like, we're doing a pre-sale, and then they would just raise like $1 million anonymously from a landing page in a Telegram group, and no one thought anything like about it. Like everyone's like, okay, this seems legit. Different times.
Yeah, I mean, you're totally right about that. I mean, like you just see like a ton of people hopping on the Telegram, and then if you see them, like everyone's fighting to get the pre-sales. Like I think one of my guys, like we were one of the first guys to actually bought those BNB pre-sales.
Fire. Fire. It's
So
probably a great money making like opportunity.
yeah,
Dude, Kevin, I like that you bring up the sort of the landing page, man. And by the way, a lot of those coins came from like the same teams. Like it was, they
Probably,
were
yeah.
rinsing and repeating it. But that's sort of like an issue that's prevalent across the crypto landscape, right? Like it's not just shit coins. I mean, you would argue that even some of these popular L1s and like real huge market cap coins have yet to actually really do anything. But it's also a big problem in the NFT space, right? So, and this is a question that I have for you, CV. In the NFT space, where you know a lot of projects that popped off during the bull run were sort of the non fungible version of what Kevin just mentioned. You know, maybe like a little website and nothing else that ever existed. How do you think about building an NFT project that's delivering actual value?
yeah. So I mean, looking back, a lot of those projects, like you said, like it's really just part of the degen casino. It's you're buying, the whole intent is to have something that is just hype driven and then flipping out to some other person, and then nothing's going to be built out, so it'll just be stuck holding the bag. So with to really like give back value to the holders for a project, you really need to have the holders first in mind. So, there's different ways that projects went around it. Like, let's say like Bored Ape, they're getting a lot of big influencers, big contacts to rep Bored Ape. They have like um, they diluted um, their brand by making like the mutants and the kennels. So they're giving a bunch of airdrops. So there's different ways to drive value. But I think like one of the strongest drivers is like if you're gonna do secondary drops, it always needs to strengthen the main collection instead of diluting the brand further. And I think that's a tricky subject where like it's hard to cross the hard to stay on that thin line.
Yeah. So, what are some ways that you think projects can do that?
Some way. So if you look at like let's say like what Izuki did, so they didn't necessarily do a ton of drops. Like they had their beans, of course, but it's really they're strengthening their and empowering their own community, and really trying to drive value and do things that are going to strengthen the core brand itself. So that can mean like cool in real life activations, like their branding for things like let's say like when they did the ad where they're flying like a Supreme, not a Supreme, there's a Azuki logo across like LA, New York, and things like that, where it's something that Supreme did. So people are, it's just kind of like cool branding things that are gonna help build out the brand.
Yeah, I think what they did with the gold skateboards was fucking genius. It's like they're like, hey, like we could do another capital raise of like, let's say like, didn't they raise like 2.5 mil or something like that? Like it's like let's raise like millions of dollars without diluting supply at all and rewarding our like holders that believe in us the most, like our whales that like aren't going to sell anyways. Like let's give them a piece of like memorabilia and like a really small collection size, and we get to just raise millions of dollars for our treasury without like having to provide anything other than like a fucking physical like cool item. But like I just thought that was like genius, and I feel like we're gonna see like a lot more projects try to figure out like a way that they could do like capital raises like that without diluting their supply.
Yeah, I agree. And that's the thing. Like a lot of projects have done, like when they're doing the additional airdrops, the airdrop would go in value, but then the main collection would go down in value by however much the airdrop was. So that's really like the tricky piece because that's what you want to try to prevent.
Right. 100%. I think that I do think the Azuki thing was a really good move. And I think that we're going to increasingly be in an NFT space where projects are going to get forced to be creative and be forced to do novel and interesting things in order to retain and really like take advantage of the more and more limited amount of attention available in the NFT attention economy, which CV, you've done a really good job of. And I have to ask you just straight up, right? Because I feel like Ether just burst onto the scene and just is here, right? I don't even remember really before Ether existed as an upcoming project versus after. How the fuck did you create one of the most exciting and sought after brands in the NFT space, and where did this all start for you?
So I'm gonna have to give kudos to my co-founder V for this because really he was the one that's doing a lot of the groundwork and has been working on this for practically 2 years to really build this out. So it wasn't something that's like it just popped out of nowhere. It's been in development for a long time, like before Azuki, before CloneX. But it's something that we really took our time to really fully build out. And so it has been it's been a really fun journey though. And I think the beauty of the bear market is that, we can take our time to fully build out the things that we want to before release. And we can take our time with that slow drip of information, just to keep people on their toes and have that sense of kind of speculation almost, because you can't give everybody, if you give everybody all the information at once, there's really no more interest in
Yep.
anything anymore.
Yeah, it's like you always have to dangle the carrot like a little bit, just keep people interested. We're having that conversation with 9gag of like Meme Land last week. I think he's done like a really good job at that. I think like obviously like fucking Frank from D Gods like probably the GOAT currently at it. I'm not pumping my bags, just number one project and
Pumping
on
his
all
bags.
blockchain. I'm just kidding. No, but yeah, it's interesting because like it's like a fine line to walk, because like on one hand you want things to be transparent and you want to like include transparency for your holders, but on the other it's like you have to be transparent about most things but keep the exciting things still a mystery, and then like keep alluding to that. So I think you guys have done like a really good job at that, because like I think I first saw one of your posts, I want to say like September, right? Like September, August, like I think like around like closer to the summertime. And then it wasn't until like, dude, like the past like like around like October, November, like you guys have just been fucking all over, and like that's the thing, it's like the Ether page isn't all over my timeline because you guys have like fucking three
It's like 4
tweets or
posts.
something like that. But like I see the amount of like threads, the amount of content, the amount of fan art, the amount of just like bullish sentiment tweets that I'm seeing on my timeline. It's pretty crazy, because it's like you would like from the outside looking in, it looks like you guys already minted out. It already looks like you have like a community. So like I find that fascinating, where like you're not even released and you seem to have like this like community sentiment that like as if like you guys are like a fucking Azuki or something. So kudos to you. Like I don't know how you guys did it. Like that shit is crazy to see.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I think like a big part of it was, we made with for Ether. We just want to make sure everything that we put out is going to be with the top quality in mind. And at first, like it's kind of like building this really. Once you build with quality, people can speculate and build around it, and especially when it's something so different. And anime, there's like so many different styles that you can do with that too. And V coming from a big artist background, he does have like a lot of hardcore supporters that rock with what he's doing. And then we want to support everyone putting out all the content for Ether too. So that's going to be one of the big things that we're going to do going forward too, even post mint.
Absolutely. I have another question for you, because a lot of people are very excited for Ether because the NFT space works this way. And when people are excited about things, other people get excited about things. But I think that there's a pretty large demographic of people who want in on this project, but actually lack a fundamental understanding of what exactly you're doing. So if I am listening to this podcast and I have no idea what Ether is, outside of understanding that a lot of people are excited for it, how would you explain the purpose and core vision of the project?
So really, it's going to be a project where it's, I guess what I can say without saying too much is we're aiming to be something similar to the Fortnite of Web3.
Is it a
Interesting.
Is it a battle royale? Wait, what does that mean, bro? Wait a minute, CV. We need more. What do you mean the Fortnite of Web3? How so?
Like clearly, like he just told you everything you need to know. They're just gonna do fucking Fortnite dances in Web3. Like,
Is Travis Scott gonna come perform? Like,
Yeah.
what does that mean, CV?
So I'm not talking about like necessarily a game. It's just how like everything would be kind of like it's a strong core brand that everything can be interconnected with, and it'll be really easy to build off of. And then, but like besides that analogy, is a lot of the big things that we're doing is like high fashion, because V's background is really like with like he's worked with a lot of celebs like Nicki Minaj, Megan Thee Stallion, with all the Twitch streamers like Pokimane as well, Sony, Artifact, even did like a shoe for Nike and everything too. So that's going to be a big part of what we're doing too.
interesting.
So, do you have plans to circle in and bring in some of these big brands that you guys are connected to?
So I can't speak too much about that piece, but we have been working a lot in the background, and that's kind of the beauty of the bear is that we have the time to really connect with a lot of people and see what's the perfect fit. Because we had to actually decline a lot of collabs before, just because it didn't match our vision perfectly. So we're really selective on who we work with.
Yeah, I feel like anytime I see like a ultra like hyped project on Twitter, especially like in like the anime realm, no offense, PXN, like I always just see like these like huge projects that just do like collab after collab after collab after botting engagement after botting engagement. So it's like again like it kind of goes back to like the community sentiment thing where like it's interesting because like if I saw Ether like just from like the metrics alone, I'd be like, okay, like this like a lot of people hyped on it, and if I didn't see people talking about it just organically, like on their own, posting threads or fan art or whatever, I would just be like, this is like another botted, like like fake hyped project, but it's like that's not the case just because of the community sentiment of it. And it's interesting, like again, like I'm sorry I keep bringing it back to that, but like you guys have that and you haven't done like a collab, like or like many collabs. Like I feel like anytime I see the projects that like have that kind of like at least like social metrics and like engagement, like they're usually like they're doing giveaways constantly. They're like partnering with like this project and that project, and like these holders get like so. I just like, how the fuck did you guys do that? Tell me your secrets.
Yeah, and that's like, my experience is mainly as an NFT trader. So, I've seen literally all the things that people do to try to like grind whitelists. I've seen what people do to try to like hype up their project, doing like all the collabs and things like that. So like ultimately like it helps in the short term because you are getting bigger numbers, you are getting more engagement like that, and then you are getting more communities involved by having them get whitelist. But ultimately like everyone is out there to really basically just flip NFTs to make money. That's what most of the space is about. And doing all the collabs like that, that's ultimately what you're doing. You're just giving people free whitelists to go flip your NFTs. And you're not really getting the people that are genuinely interested in the project itself. So that's
That
why
makes so
like
much sense.
we wanted to take a completely different approach with that and really like I didn't want to do any collabs with any projects. Even like it did hurt. Like I did feel some type of way saying no to all the big influencers that are asking for whitelist and all, and like even places like that I was really connected with, like the Azuki Spirit chat, or like where all the big whales are at. But ultimately, we wanted to support the people that are genuinely interested in Ether, and we did that by handpicking every single person.
Every single person.
Mm-hmm.
So like when people get those like invite like messages or whatever, that's all handpicked.
It's all handpicked, and it's all literally DM'd by V. So it's not even that like we have someone hired. They're literally getting personally messaged by the founder.
Damn. What's your like what is like the size for like allow list?
Allow list. So the total size for allow list is 1750.
Okay.
Are those all like is that done? Have you guys selected all of them yet?
So it's not done. We still have a good amount to select, and there'll
There's
be
fucking hope.
Yeah, just look at what I would say is look out for that next trailer that we're gonna put out, and pay close attention.
Oh my god, this bro, fucking Easter
Bro,
eggs.
hold up. Wait, dude, see, listen, CV, you're good at this, dude. I'm gonna keep you. Listen,
Bro,
if you don't want to answer my
that carrot
questions-
is dangled right in front of me.
Yeah,
I'm
if
like,
you don't want to answer my questions, you don't have to. But I'm gonna keep fucking asking you questions, dude. This is my job, okay? I'm supposed to find alpha. All right, this is what I'm supposed to do, okay? And Ether is just this beast of a thing that I have, and this is not me blowing smoke because again, like I haven't even been selected for a while. Listen, but seriously, like I have not seen before, not because I haven't seen hype projects, right? Like I've been here for essentially the whole thing, right? Like I remember Mechaverse, Invisible Friends, all these projects, but the core difference is that what Kevin said earlier, like I don't see Ether doesn't fucking talk to anybody, bro. Like, I don't see Ether. You know what I mean? There's no whitelist giveaways, dude. There's no, like, you know what I mean? Like, collabs or
not
whatever.
one single like retweet fucking comment, dude.
Yeah, no tagging friends, none of that bullshit. And it's really interesting because I can sit on here and candidly say that I have this, like, immense desire to be a part of this project, but I don't actually... Like, if you asked me to explain exactly what Ether is going to be once I'm in there, like, I don't know. I don't even know. Like, I don't know. But I want to know. But Kevin, this man's CV is a tightly sealed box, right, of secrets. I feel that it's very challenging to get into. So let me ask you this. Let me ask you this, CV. Is there any sort of alpha that you can give us here on the pod, even if it's, dude, like a morsel, like this big, a tiny crumb on a plate? Like, can you tell us something, bro? Like, we want the alpha. I want it more than anything. Is there anything exciting that you can share that maybe, you haven't told anybody yet?
Huh. Thing is, like, what's funny is that V actually leaks a lot of alpha that I don't even know. Because he literally deletes tweets after like 5 seconds.
We got the wrong founder on here. That's what happened.
Kevin, he's pulling an SPF. He's claiming ignorance, bro. He says he doesn't know.
Bro, oh man. Okay.
But like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, there's sometimes where I'm just like, "Wait, what did you say?" And then I see people making Twitter threads about it and like posting the alpha that he said like really quickly on either like on a deleted tweet or like on a spaces when I'm asleep at like 3 a.m. and I'm like, what? But yeah,
okay. So
if you hop on V spaces, they'll definitely.
Everyone have post notifications on V and like hop into any space he's in and just like wait for him to slip up. Like that's the alpha. Wait for V to slip up.
How about this? Assume that Kevin and I have missed every single one of these V tweets. Are there any V tweets that you remember? Because it's already leaked, dude. It's out in the world. It's somewhere. Are there any spicy V tweets that you were like, oh shit, I can't believe he said that? That maybe you could recount for us on the show.
Yeah, so I mean, he did reveal some of the like the concepts for kind of like um, the fashion pieces that he was designing. And then it's also like putting sneak peeks for that as well. And the thing is, like, the bar for Web3 clothing is so low. Like almost every project, they just put like a blank and then just slap their logo on it and then call it merch.
Wait right here. Kevin, keep him entertained.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Now that Champ's gone, so how about an Ether White? I'm just kidding. No, but dude, it's Champ. No way, bro. That is some quality merch if I've ever seen it. You know, Champ's Only always has like this isn't even a blank tee. I know Champ handmade each shirt. He was weaving the fleece and I got nothing, bro.
Dude, if I had ran and gotten a hoodie that if I had ran and showed you, CV, a fully designed Ether piece of merch that I just had in the background for this podcast, would you have given me whitelist on the show?
I say like I'll probably shout it out and then
He's not giving me whitelist. There's all right, boys. There's no fucking chance. Anyway, moving on.
Can we talk about FUD?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
what I was actually
All
going
right,
to ask.
cool. Yeah, because like if you don't want to give us the alpha, it's all good. You know, it's all good. We'll just give you the smoke. All right, so mint price. I've been enjoying just from obviously not a founder's perspective, not a team member of any project's perspective. It's always like kind of entertaining to me. I'm not gonna lie, no offense. When projects do get fudded, because like I feel like that's like the time to like really see like how strong the community is and like how serious like the team is to building and like how they're gonna refute the FUD and things like that. So like I remember when you guys announced your mint price, I believe it's 1 ETH, correct?
yeah. Right.
What? Because like I'm just gonna ask, like I'm gonna just be like devil's advocate here and play both sides and stuff. So like if I was a person and I'm just like, what possibly would you guys need like 1 ETH for? Like what would the simple answer be?
So simple answer for that. Well, I mean, we're gonna slowly drip out all the information, and we're gonna be completely transparent in how we're gonna use those funds, and what we're gonna build out prior to the mint. So of course, like we're not gonna release every single thing because there still needs to be an element of, like speculation there, and to keep people, dangling that carrot forward. But I'm confident that we'll make people see the true value in it and what we can build out.
Okay, so, but for sure, like more info will be released at some point, though, right?
Yeah, and I completely get the FUD. I was a little bit scared to post that, but it's kind of like because it is counterintuitive. It's something that people that have projects, they haven't done that, because most of the time you just reach maximum hype, release, and then judge your mint price based on whatever peak hype you got, and then mint out shortly after. So the approach that we wanted to do was we wanted to be honest and transparent about that months before we actually mint out. So that way people can decide if it's truly worth it. And we can prove to everybody that we deserve, like it's going to be worth it, and that they'll make money off of it.
Make money off of it. So what, like, would you say that one of the core objectives, because we were talking about this with 9gag CEO a few days ago, right? We had him on the show, and I was talking about him about the fact that, in my opinion, the best founders are the ones who don't sort of tiptoe around what people actually want, right? And don't sort of virtual signal their way around what people actually want, which is number go up, and give me cool stuff constantly, right? So the question I would ask, I suppose, is like, how much thought are you putting into right now designing mechanisms to keep the holders sort of entertained, enthused, and have that sort of steady grind upwards after the Ether mint?
So that's actually, for me, to be honest, I'm more excited about what we have post mint than pre mint. So we actually have the next, it's like maybe like 4 to 6 months already built out, and already planned out for Ether. And there's a lot of, I'm just going to say, like, there's a lot of ways that um, smart contracts can be used that hasn't been used before, to keep people interested and to reward people for certain actions. So there's very interesting mechanics that you can play around with.
Interesting. I love to hear that though, because like when you could always tell when people are just like rushing to fucking figure some shit out versus like when people have like just like that like a mechanism in place pre-mint for the post-mint of like constantly having that carrot dangling in front of you. Like I think the best case scenario I've seen of that recently has been on the Solana side actually with Claynosaurs. I don't know if either of you've like seen what they've done, but it's like, dude, like the way that they like pre-mint, they like drop like, you know, like a limited 222 supply of like sardine cans to people in Lisbon. And then they like minted. And then as soon as they minted, they like did a snapshot. And then the snapshot, like you got like fucking clay makers and like certain, and then like, so like immediately, like right off the bat, like I think it feels like every week or every 2 weeks, there's always like something happening. There's always like some sort of snapshot, some sort of airdrop. And like these airdrops aren't like worthless things because the airdrops are always mysterious. So it's like, for instance, I have a Claynosaur. I got a clay maker. I don't know what the fuck it does. But guess what? In the next airdrop, I'm going to find out. So like me as a holder, I'm going to be like, yeah, of course I'm going to like have this thing delisted and wait to see how this thing plays out. And there's just like, there's a lot of speculation, a lot of mystery, but like the way that they're shipping all this out is like seamless. So I think like definitely like, you know, pre-mint is hard and it's like one of the most important things to like make sure you have like the community and like the hype and like, you know, the mystery, but then also transparency. But then post-mint I think is like arguably the hardest part, but also like the most fun part because that's when you get to be like the most creative with like what you guys are going to do. So I'm excited to see like what your plans are. And I'm excited to see, you know, like what that information is that you guys are going to share about like the financials of things. Because, you know, like 1 ETH, like it is a lot. And I know like Meme Land, they announced that they were like at an ETH as well. But they have like a little bit like easier in a sense of like trying to justify that because of like, you know, the MVP and like the potatoes and things like that. So I'm curious to see what you guys are going to release. But I think like for the most part, you guys have done a fucking like masterful like job at like creating like mystery, hype, lore, and like speculation and amazing art.
I appreciate that. Yeah, and like the only thing I want to say is like, you know, I understand it's easy to find, and you know, I understand people are saying, why do they deserve 1 ETH? They only have 8 tweets. So you know, V and I are very active in the space, like outside of just the core Ether tweets. But I'd say, you know, don't judge it just from the surface. Give us time to prove it, and we'll prove it.
The end all be all measurable metric of how much a project should be on a mint for. Number of tweets. Number of tweets. Stevie, I want to double back to something you said earlier. You were talking about how you're excited for the post mint project and doing some really cool things with smart contracts, which is very interesting to me. Can we expect any sort of gamified ecosystem following mint with Ether?
Gamified? I would say you're incentivized to do certain things. So in a sense, yes.
Are
But
they?
again, like judging, like going back to what I was saying earlier, is that um, I think like any kind of like secondary drops outside of the main collection, the goal, like while that's cool, it should strengthen the main collection and not dilute it.
Are there sort of external platforms or important pieces of user experience that we do not know about yet for Ether?
Platforms and user experiences, of course, yeah. But again, we'll slowly tease them out.
Do you know when you're launching yet?
I was about to ask that.
So, in terms of the launch, like when I was talking to viewers, like really, we're gonna launch when we're 100% satisfied with what we have. So, you know, honestly, like if we rush and put it out, like let's say like a year ago, then yeah, even if it was like not to the quality that we wanted, we'd probably make more money. But we want to make sure that everything we put out reaches our standards, and V's a fucking perfectionist. So everything, it really took our time to fully build everything out.
Yeah, dude, you're certainly right about the money thing. Mechaverse went straight to like the 80th, 10, like you're right about that.
Yeah, and like ETH is like 4,500.
Yeah, crazy times, dude.
Crazy, dude.
Absolutely insane times. I miss it.
Same,
RIP.
so
I actually
much.
miss the $400 gas fees. I'm not even kidding.
I mean, yeah, as a trader, I mean, like those are the easiest times to make money.
Dude, it wasn't. It wasn't even trading. It was just like free money. It was insane. It was absolutely insane. And the crazy thing about Mechaverse, dude, is I didn't even win the whitelist raffle for that project. I just bought one off secondary right after they minted for like 2 or 3 ETH, and I just sold it for 80 ETH like 10 minutes later, and then fucked off. I was like, okay, I'm done. You know what I mean? Like, it was just a crazy ass time, dude. And I can only imagine if Ether launched during that time, right?
Oh my God,
And I'm
bro.
actually, dude, as someone who's been in the space for a long time, I'm super curious and excited to see like how far projects like Ether can sort of push that market dynamic in envelope when they come out, right? Because in the bear market, we like haven't really seen any projects break into those. And if we're just using floor price as a sort of core metric here, which is in many ways for a lot of projects not the best metric, but it's what everyone's going to be paying attention to when you meant, right? We haven't really seen any projects break into that sort of upper echelon 5 ETH, 10 ETH range that have come out recently. What am I forgetting about, Kevin?
The one that canceled me.
Yeah, Goblin Town.
Or
Sorry,
our
CV, what were you going to say?
gobblers. But yeah.
Oh, our Gobblers, right.
Yeah.
What were you saying, CV?
I'd say like there are some that have reached at least like they have some lasting power. Like if you look at Digi,
Digi's a good example.
So it's not like they don't exist, but there are a lot of different factors that like made sure that they had staying power.
Mm-hmm.
Like for Digi, you know, like they're 200 million in funding. You know, that's what kept people interested in a bunch of like their gamified system too. So like it's a lot harder, but at the same time, like the things that are really going to shine and have staying power are going to be the quality projects.
That makes sense.
You're right.
Yeah, because think about it. Like, dude, D-Gods, they minted at the Pico top of like Solana hype. Or like when Solana was like, yeah, like the highest price and everything. And they didn't reach all-time highs till like the Pico Bear. So like it is kind of interesting too, because like I think the projects that like really shine during like the bear market are like that, like if you could be number one in a bear market, or like just start popping off like crazy in a bear market, like that makes me way more bullish of like the potential upside that these projects and like these teams and like this community has in a bull market. So I'm actually like way more fascinated by like see like who kills it in a bear versus like, you know, so like let's say this Q NFT IP, just because like they're just like pumping because like they were like OGs or whatever, but like other than the fact that like they just minted and like, you know, had like a high price when everything was going crazy and their holders are, too prideful to just dump their bags that they spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on, like monkey photos. I mean, just any photos, not Bored Ape. But okay, fuck, I'm sorry. Champ, take it away.
All right. Anyway, CV. See, this is why the podcast is called ngmi. I'll amend my earlier statement. You're right. There have actually been a number of projects that are pretty impressive, but most of them have either been sort of less mainstream or surprises, right? Digi, for most of the NFT space, I think was a surprise, right? Art Gobblers wasn't necessarily a surprise. It was Justin Roiland, but I think them going to where they went was a surprise. And I guess I should amend my earlier statement by saying there haven't really been projects that have been the most obvious ones that have done that in the way that a Mechaverse did, in the way that a Hate Beast did, right? It was a project that everyone was talking about for months before it came out, right? But on that note, what I wanted to ask you, CV, is how much pressure do you feel under sort of the expectations that people are putting on Ether?
Did that part.
I mean, my focus is, or our focus is really just building out the best thing possible. Like, I understand that, honestly, like in some ways it's less pressure because we're not incentivized to rush things out. We can really take our time to build everything out and deliberately make our moves, and really take our time to see if like certain things fit and explore different avenues too. It also gives us a lot of time to connect with our community too.
Bro, you just can't fucking break this man, dude. He won't give us any alpha. He doesn't fucking crack under pressure.
He's kind of buff in person though, so I'm scared to like say too much.
Yeah, same. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, but it's what I expected. That's what I expected of CV because that's how Ether as a brand moves.
Yeah,
right?
that's true.
And it's a powerful. It is the brand, right? Like it reminds me. I will say Ether in that way reminds me of actually some really compelling and sort of interesting luxury brands or even celebrities, right? Like I think about now it's different, but I think about like The Weeknd, for example, right? He spent the first like 8 years of his career doing 0 interviews, you know what I mean? But was just sort of this like mega brand via mystery. And Ether, I think, has really nailed that thus far. I do want to ask you, CV, what projects do you look at right now in this space and draw inspiration from and think are doing a good job? Like, what projects do you like?
Do I like? I mean, prior to hopping on Ether, like I was a big Azuki bull. I was like one of the top holders for Azuki for a while, but had to de-risk a bit to help fund Ether a bit. But I do like what they're doing because essentially they're keeping the attention on themselves for the space through like the skateboards that they're doing. They're rewarding collectors by doing the badges, so gamifying their own collection like that, even though it doesn't necessarily give like monetary value, it is also like a flex. So, and then they are doing some really trying to stay active with their own community and empower the community initiatives as well. So I do like what they're doing with all of that.
What do you think is, sorry, I wanted to add on to the flip side of this question. What is sort of the biggest issue that you see in the NFT space right now that projects are making?
The biggest issue? So one, it really depends because like there's not one set thing that's going to work for every single project. Every single project's a little bit different. So there isn't a formula per se that's going to that's going to lead you to success. So just simply copying somebody, you may not get the same results. So, but I know, like, I'd say it's definitely positive EV to have founders that are active with the community and don't completely ghost them.
Agree.
Because really, like, I think like the culture is set from the top down. And if you see the founders are being very engaging with the community, like sending out positive vibes and just like good vibes in general, it's gonna go down, and community would hopefully act a similar way as well.
Yeah, excellent point there. Because like literally, all my favorite projects at this point, like they're, it's like I'm just betting on the founders, if anything, you know, which is cool because yeah, like I feel like in the bull market, like everyone just had it so easy. Like founders, like teams could just go and like mint in a bowl and like have hype, just because they use like cute pastel colors, and then just not talk for like 6 months. I gotta stop throwing shade, bro.
It's okay.
Okay, yeah,
It's okay.
it's okay,
It's okay.
it's okay.
The space loves it.
Do they? Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I mean, no, and to be fair, like, there's a lot of bullshit.
Yeah.
And, like, it's a complex space, and I think that, and we also talked about this last episode, the NFT space is extraordinarily unique in that the sort of speculative asset that is almost sort of like the stock of a publicly traded startup, if you're building product as an NFT project, is the same token that affords you your membership and all the other benefits, right? There's sort of no separation between the two. So there's really sort of an interesting style of incentive alignment that I don't think exists in any other industry. And I'm excited to see how the winners handle it. I think Azuki has been doing a good job. Valhalla is doing very well right now. Sivi, I'm not sure if you know that team at all, or what your opinion on Valhalla is, but I've been pretty impressed with their performance recently. And like, there's a number of projects that have been sort of crushing it, but the vast majority of them, have sort of floundered away. So I think as sort of a closing question here, Sivi, I'll ask you what you think as a founder of an NFT project in the bear market are the most important characteristics to embody and things to do for your community.
So I think one of the biggest things is just driving back value to the community and being honest and transparent with the community, and just making sure that they're excited for what's to come. I think we're, as memey as it sounds, I really believe we're still fairly early in the NFT space, and there's a lot of things that haven't been explored yet, and there's a lot of cool things that we can do with smart contracts that haven't been done yet, and we like to do innovative shit and really like pave our own path.
I love that. Yeah. Fuck, dude. I think you guys are doing a great job. And I again, like, just like what Champ and I were talking about with like 9gag, it's like the fact that like obviously like you just want to like be transparent but still maintain mystery, still dangle that carrot, but then also like your end goal is just provide value for your holders. Like that's a bullish thing if like for me to speculate on, because like all of like my favorite founders like usually have that same characteristic. Like I think like the 9gags, the Alex Lins, the Frank D Gods, the Luca Nets, the fucking Gabriel Layden, even though he has the fucking weirdest memes and shit.
PFP of all time.
But yeah, it's refreshing to see like people take their time to do things right. And yeah, like I mean, I remember it was right after like Utes minted and they did like their Utes list. I saw every project under the sun do like a list of some sort for like allow lists. And you guys were one of the only ones that didn't. I was banking on the fact that you guys were gonna do that. And when you didn't, like I was just like, all right, like this is more interesting to me because you guys aren't going with like whatever is working for everyone else. So yeah, I wish you nothing but success, man. And it's cool to see like people who are really well known behind the scenes. And like I would say you're like an excellent like networker. Like literally every builder, every founder, every like core team member that I speak to in this space, like they all have like nothing but good things to say about you. So I'm bullish to see it whenever like people who are like prolific behind the scenes go and like build out their own thing. So kudos.
I appreciate that about, man.
Absolutely, man. I'm excited to see it play out. This is going to be, I think the Ether rollout is going to be sort of a really important, inflection point in the NFT market, especially assuming that we're still not in the most bullish conditions. And CV, I appreciate you giving us what you can give today. You're doing a good job protecting the secrets of the project, and I respect you for that. But I do want to, as I always do with our guests, earnestly thank you for spending some time with us on the show today and letting me pester you with questions that I'm sure you're asked fairly often. It's been great to chat with you. And yeah, dude, I'm happy you agreed to come on. Kev, do you have any closing thoughts?
Let us know when we can get V on and try to get him to actually like spill all the secrets because we we invited a fucking airtight safe to come on and try to share alpha. But no, dude, I appreciate you. Thank you for coming on the pod. And I'm just like as a fan, I'm like excited to see like how you guys are gonna roll this thing out.
Thank you, man. I really appreciate all your time. It's actually my first time hopping on a podcast like this.
Oh, let's go.
So thanks for being great hosts. And yeah, excited to show you guys what we got in the coming months.
Yes, sir. That's a wrap. Thank you.
Thanks, bro.